Hey y'all, welcome to Miss Clark's chemistry class. I'm continuing my lessons on gas laws. In this lesson today, we're going to talk about Avogadro'S Law. You need to understand its relationship and how to use the calculations. Go grab your notes, grab your calculator, and let's get started. So let's talk about Avogadro'S Law. Avogadro, this is the same Avogadro that we give credit to for Avogadro's number, 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. When Avogadro was figuring out how many particles were in a mole, he also discovered that it really didn't matter what kind of gas you had. If you had a certain amount of gas, then that related to a certain volume of gas. So the amount of gas in moles and volume are directly proportionate, meaning we can set that up as a proportion. The amount of gas and the volume that the gas will take up is directly proportional. So we have this formula, volume 1 over N1, lowercase n, that's the number of moles, and then volume 2 divided by the number of moles. Let's look at a couple of math problems. If 0.950 moles of oxygen gas has a volume of 20 liters at some temperature and pressure, what would be the volume of 1.350 moles of oxygen gas? Okay, so remember, the first thing I always like to do is to identify our variables. In these videos so far, everything has been separate. Boyle's law, Charles's law, Avogadro's law. But if you're having to work problems, then you're just going to have a list of formulas out in front of you, and you've got to figure out what formula you need. So if you always list out your variables, then you will know which formula to choose. Just choose the formula that matches your variables the most. That's why I always take the time to go through and look at these numbers and identify them. So here we've got moles, so that's N1. 0.950 moles. Has a volume, this is volume 1, of 20 liters. And then it says at some temperature pressure, so that's not important. It would be, so what would be the volume? We don't know the volume 2. And then this last number is in moles, so that's N2, 1.350 moles. So we're going to use Avogadro's law, V1 over N1 equals V2 over N2. So V1, that was 20 liters. N1, that's 0.950. We're looking for volume 2, so I'm going to put an X there. And then our new mole amount, 1.350. Again, as always, I prefer to cross multiply and divide. There are other ways you could do this. I'm going to multiply 1.350 times 20. And then I'm going to divide 0.95. Let's see, I've got 3 sig figs, 4 sig figs, so my answer needs 3 sig figs. X equals 28.4 liters. We had more moles, so we expect that to take up more space. I think I have one more example. If 0.500 moles of nitrogen gas has a volume of 11 liters at some temperature and pressure, what volume would 0.750 moles of carbon dioxide have at the same temperature and pressure? Now remember, Avogadro discovered that it doesn't matter what kind of gas. The gas particles are so small that it really doesn't matter what kind of gas. So the fact that we've got nitrogen and carbon dioxide, we're not concerned about that. Okay, so let's go through. We've got 0.5 moles, that's N1, 0.500 moles, and a volume, that's volume 1, out of 11 liters. Okay, and then the next number that we have is, again, moles, N2, 0.750 moles, and we're asked about volume 2. So we've got V over N equals V over N. That was our formula, 1s, 2s. So V1, we've got 11. N1, I've got 0.5. V2, that's what we're looking for. I'm going to put an X into 0.750. Again, I'm going to cross multiply and divide. So 0.750 times 11 divided by 0.500 equals X, which is volume 2, equals, let's see, I need 3 sig figs, 16.5. And that would be in liters. Avogadro's Law. These laws are all starting to blend together, right? You got to keep them separate. You've got to be able to identify the variable, figure out what law you're going to need, and then work out the calculations. Don't forget to understand the concept behind them as well. Don't just be able to do the math, because I promise you, your teacher is going to ask you concept questions as well. Make sure and subscribe so you don't miss a single thing. And stay tuned to the next video of this series. Until next time, bye y'all.